Part 4 of my crazy wild dreams. This one was definitely had to have been a hormonal dream, but also had to have had some underlying meanings because it was weird. They're all weird, but this one was it had me you know, there were some very inappropriate things that happened in my dream, and I'll never understand that. I don't think don't take it literally because it's a dream, so it's very figuratively and often means something else. Now, this town that I dream about a lot, and I always say in my dream that it's Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, but it's not actually Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, because the town doesn't look like it at all. But it's still a beach town, and the buildings are always the same, and so on and so forth, okay? All right, so in my dream, I'm all of a sudden displaced. I'm homeless. I've got my two dogs with me. I've got bags, and I'm on a bus and I'm headed to Myrtle Beach. When I get there, I'm dropped off at a homeless area. Um, I don't know, it's not like an outside homeless encampment or anything. It was like a building. It was a building, and there was I keep saying vans outside that had people in them, similar to buses that were transportation for the homeless people wherever they wanted to go if they needed to go run an errand, go to work, things like that. And I was super nervous about even asking for help. So remember, I've got some bags with me and I've got my two dogs, which in real life are sitting right here with me. So I'm very nervous to even ask for help. And I do get some help. And all of a sudden, I'm in this, I want to say it's a dormitory because there's a bunch of I keep saying young college kids. And I'm 47 years old next month. So I'm not a young college kid. But they found one of the rooms and they gave it to me to use. So I keep my dogs in the room and I've got a great view of the ocean and I'm starting to build up some things and they let me, have a bed and like a little futon sofa and whatnot. Okay, so I'm in the dormitory and I leave my dogs in the room and I go downstairs. I'm going to the cafeteria. I'm going to go get some food. And I see these people. There's like a group of girls and a group of guys, and they're all kind of hanging out together. And you can tell they're probably, screwing around with each other, right? And so some of the girls are kind of like giggling at me, young girls. They see an old lady in a dormitory, right? And they're probably wondering, what the hell are you doing here? You work here or whatever. No, I'm standing in line to get some food. And one of the younger guys was very kind and he looked at me, he smiled, and he said, "How are you?" And I thought that was very kind of him. What a sweet young man. And I said, "Well, thank you, young man. I'm doing all right." And I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden we were flirting, which is not something I would do with a 20-something-year-old man. That's a child, in my opinion. Even though you all think you're grown, I'm gonna be your mama. So, with that being said, it we ended up, and that was highly inappropriate. In real life, I would never do that. But my dream, obviously, this has a different kind of significance, and it's not literal; it's a figurative thing. Um, and so, and so that goes on for a little while. Um, in the dream, of course, not real life. And I getting glares from other girls, and naturally fucked up things said to me and about me, and that's reasonable. That would be reasonable in the real world. Now, I think it was like a couple weeks later, I go up to my room. I'm gonna go check on my dogs, things like that, and I'm getting a little bit bullied by some of the other girls. And I just look at them and I said, "That's not your problem to worry about what's going on with me or anybody else." And that's what I told them. I'm like, "You need to learn how to mind your business." I'm like, "If you're jealous, you need to take that up with him or yourself, not with me. That has nothing to do with me." And then I'm back down in his room, which is down right by the cafeteria, which I thought was kind of weird anyway. Like, you go down the cafeteria, there's a hallway right here, and his room was like right out the corner. And there was another room off to the side over there, and there was other guys going in there, and they would always just laugh. And I'm like, whatever. I had not gotten any for 9 years in my dream. So I was milking this, apparently. And all of a sudden, we're walking up this hill. There's some brick buildings on the side of us here, and there's like a sidewalk that we're going up, and it's just kind of this incline, right? And behind us, you see this area, and I've always dreamt about this area of this town. Like, my mind has always got this town wrapped up. I don't know what's going on with it. But there's this like white stone arch, and then you go around, and there's some like bars and things like that. So we're going up away from that area. There's some brick buildings, and as we get to the top of the hill, he just takes off running to the right, and then I see him take off down the hill, and all of a sudden I got like super speed powers, right? Love dreams. And I take off going, turn around, go back down the hill, and I go, around through that archway and come in. And I'm at the dorm all of a sudden. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Well, he had gotten there before me because he's younger and faster. And he locked my dogs in my room. He barricaded my room so that I couldn't even get in it, which I thought was very strange. And so I'm panicking because I can't get to my dogs. I couldn't give a shit less about his immature behavior, but I did look at him and I said, this is really fucking immature of you. And, I finally got into my room and, got my dogs taken care of, made sure that they were safe and so on and so forth. And they were. He didn't bother them at all. He just barricaded the room. And then I went and found him. And when I say I was cruel, I was livid about his bad behavior. And I went off. I made him cry. I made him feel terrible. The other girls realized I was not one to fuck with at all. I said, we may have been doing the little deed, and that's it, and there ain't nothing more to it. I was like, and that's all there is to it. That's all there was, is a couple of people getting their rocks off. I said, so whatever sneaky, weird shit you had in your mind to block my doors, I'm like, you weren't harming me, you were harming my dogs. They didn't do anything to you. He said, well, I just thought it would be funny. It's not funny. I said, and that shows me that you're a child. And so the dream to me was about setting those boundaries. Now, right after that incident, all of a sudden I'm back at the beginning part of my dream where I'm standing there with my dogs and my bags by the ocean, and there's this white covered, there's like stairs going up to a white covered little walkway bridge. So what I think my dream kind of symbolizes is holding boundaries, feeling maybe a little out of control about certain things, maybe an emotional roller coaster. And I am going through that with perimenopause. Today, I woke up feeling confused, weird, and different about my dream, right? And then the dream didn't control my emotions like that, but excuse me, they my emotions with perimenopause are really out of whack, um, because of the crazy roller coaster. So I think that has a lot to do with my dream. Also, the fact that I'm not doing well with impulse spending. I'm having a really hard time controlling my finances, and I'm feeling kind of out of control with that, but I've got to get better. And I think that that has a lot to do with a big part of this dream and worrying about what's going to happen with me and my dogs if I don't get it together. It's really amazing what dreams can do to your mind, or what your mind can create with dreams. So that's my dream. If you're liking this series, drop a like, drop a comment. Tell me what you think about this dream. If you stayed this long, I really appreciate you. Let me know what you think about this dream. What would it symbolize in your life if you would have had a dream like this? Don't forget to follow or subscribe depending on where you're seeing this. And even share it if you think this was just a wild enough dream to do so. All right, have a good day. See you on the next dream.